several key issues, themes for the last year. I'm bringing them up in order, so you each have a minute. One is student space on campus. Some of you might have briefly addressed it, but there's obviously burning issues, including peak time for exam weeks, midterm weeks, as well as student demands for new facility, basically plan for their activities.
Currently, the university is allowed to book these things. They shouldn't be to let these spaces sit empty. If elected, I really plan on making sure that we book those rooms so students can access them, as well as making students aware of kind of what are the high and low points of booking time on campus. I think a lot of groups run into the fact they don't know what is free and what isn't free, so it's really making sure that information is available and accessible to societies and clubs on campus. It's really just another thing on building with communication within societies and clubs in the UWSA, I think.
In terms of space, someone brought up the idea of like studying, like where do I study, especially during exams. One thing I think all of us can agree, the library is a little bit sweaty. Student space, reflecting especially what happened yesterday in council, CAW Center is for students. It's great that the university wants to lease it from us every now and then, but we should be ensuring that students have that space like the boardroom or the places downstairs.
Student space on campus has been a problem for a long time on this campus. Even with the growing number of clubs meeting, students were getting more involved in it, and that's probably a good thing, I guess. But there have been a lot of talks in the past of having something like an examination building where all examinations are held.
Will, you said that as your role for VPUA during the dress code issue that you stood by the decisions of the executive team. So you stood behind a racist policy, and the letter in the Lance actually was only, I believe, signed by Justin Thielen, although with the council, I would believe, instructed the executive as a whole to sign the letter apologizing for the dress code and its racist overtones.
The letter was brought to the executive, and we support the letter. I don't know if you...
But you took responsibility in support of the executive, but you in publicly did not personally take responsibility.
I guess it kind of falls on how the position of president is seen as. We are basically up there as equals. We don't report to each other, so I think that's kind of how the optics viewed it as. Decisions made on behalf on the issue of the pub union board, which all the executive have a vote. So I supported that, but like initially we didn't fully understand all the repercussions that the policy would bring. Saying that I supported the policy, I didn't necessarily support what it implied to students.
Okay, but the optics are different. You had a legal responsibility in terms of this racist policy, so you did not actually take public responsibility, either in the Lance or in public, for the institution and creation and maintaining of this policy during the student protest.
The policy wasn't created fully by the executive. The decision was made by, the policy was implemented by the club manager and supported by the executive. So I don't know if it was wise of us not to support the decision publicly, but that's what happened. So I guess that was the best choice on our part, not to support the president.
So Bryden, well, have you been to a Senate meeting?
No.
All right. Same thing for Board of Governors. Do you know what your roles and duties are, President, and that committee, and like on that board, and all the various subcommittees that you might be assigned to?
Yeah, I am aware of the position. Like I said, I was very interested in the Senate, not as much in the Board of Governors. The subcommittee is everything that's involved there. We're reviewing what the university does, relationship with students. But definitely something I have to get more involved in if I were to be elected.
But I don't need sex because the University of Windsor fucks me every day.
Like, do you want me to speak to that actual
I want to know
group?
where it came from and just the brainchild behind it.
Okay, well, actually, the group is actually a chapter group and it exists at other universities in form of a chapter form. To be honest, I just thought the name was funny. It's actually, truth be told, the highest number of people are in it. So I think it actually addressed like a bigger issue at large that the university students at the University of Windsor do feel dissatisfied. So to be honest, if that's a forum that students can I can communicate to students through, so be it.